Hey, it's Mark. So I'm going to look at the uranium sector in this video. There's a lot of stuff that's been moving, and there's some stocks that are coming up on consolidation levels. So let's go right into these uranium stocks first. They've had a big run the past several months here, and it's looking to possibly continue here with the sector. The sector is pretty much following the rest of these stocks here. So this is the sector ETF URA, and it's come back to some previous resistance, which is now looks to be turning into support. So this level here on URA, this red line, is possibly a new support level. So we look at the long-term chart on like the yearly chart. Uranium has just been steadily uptrending since early 2023. It's been really slow and steady, but it's just continuing to show momentum and hasn't really stopped any momentum trend here. Like this down move here was trying to break down, but it was just quickly reversed. And so a lot of these stocks I'm about to look at have very similar charts, but I just want to go through some of the more sort of watched ones and the more ones that have the higher relative strength. So the Uroi has had some pretty incredible relative strength lately, and it's got the same kind of look going on, and it's a really good chart now. Still, the move down here looks like a bull flag, and you look at that light sell volume. It's just really light sell volume. So I see that one looking to put up another attempt to break out again, and UEC is the same thing. I mean, these all look like flags, even though they haven't come down as much as the ETF. That looks like a bull flag to me. So any break over $8 a share on UEC is a buy. And NXE, the NXE is a really nice one too, like that uptrend. The uptrend's been really consistent, this uptrend level, even though it dipped below here, but that was just a retest, I think, from that level. So this one's just as strong, or one of the stronger ones, really. So that looks like a bull flag too, and it's got trend support all the way up to like 720. So it can still hold the pattern as long if it stays above like 720 area, and actually about 720. So that one looks like it's ready to go too. I mean, they might go tomorrow, or they might just kind of keep cruising down to find some more support. But a lot of these are looking really good. Like URG, it's testing off that support level, and it's got like a little pennant going there now too. It's got a pennant off of that support, off of that new support there. It's trying to find. So this one looks really good too, like a break over 180 a share will probably send this one to more highs too. So watch the 180 on that one. And DNN, same story. Another bull flag look there. This reversal here is a little concerning. That candle there on the volume could be a top. So I'm not. This one doesn't look as good just because of the way the volume came in, but you can see it didn't really trade. It traded a lot of volume in October and didn't really do anything off of it. So, but it's still got the same pattern. But it's not my favorite. The other ones that I just talked about are more my favorites. And CCJ has the same look, and that one that's got a big market cap. That's one of the bigger ones. EU. This one too, this one I guess it's an OTC, so it's not really available on any of my brokers. But if your broker happens to have this one, that one's a setup too. And it's been pretty strong. It's been moving with the sector, and it's had relative strength the whole time. And this GVXXF, I think this one might be OTC too. I mean, it's really a penny stock, but. So these last two are more speculative. This one and the DYLF are more speculative ones. This MIR is kind of like a periphery play, like because they're like a supplier. They're more like on the it's not an actual miner, but it's not really interesting looking chart. So I haven't really looked at that one. I haven't really considered that one. If it starts to break out again or something, maybe that could be a trade. But those other ones are really good. Like, I think the best way to do it now is the URA. Like the URA, and you look at the sell volume here. Like if we look at see how the selling volume each day just kind of decreases on this flag. So the top was that day, and it was 5 million, 3 million, 2 million, and it's kind of stabled out around 2 million. So it hasn't spiked on the selling. So there's a good chance that I think it's going to hold this level here, and it's like right under 30 bucks a share. Well, it's about 30 bucks. So as long as it stays above that tomorrow, and it needs to hit 30.51 tomorrow. If it hits 30.51 cents tomorrow, then I think there's a really good chance this flag confirms and it breaks out. But it's got to break over that previous day's high. In other words, show momentum. Like the way I trade is momentum, so I really don't look at stocks that don't have any momentum. If I want to buy it, I want to see it that's strong and able to break out. And the RGTI was one of those that had a good flag. That flag there broke out. Like I alerted this one back here about $1, and it's looking good to hit the channel resistance up about 123. So this one's still looking really good to get to 123, if not more. I think it's going to hit more eventually, but that's a good profit taking area, the 123. So those are the main things I was looking at. The NTNX just continues to go. It's going with NVIDIA, it looks like, and NVIDIA continues to go. So everything looks good here for the market to keep going. I mean, I was looking at all those leading indicators. If you don't follow my Twitter X account, check out my X account. I've been putting up a lot of leading indicators and economic data that I look at. That's kind of like it's sort of on the periphery of leading indicators, but it's just things I know that have worked over the years, like the Baltic Dry Index and certain stocks, and I never even thought about the FNMA, but I saw those in the scans, and the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have been a leading indicator for a long time. So those are good to check out too. Like and I actually called the breakouts on those with the bull triangles. So check out my Twitter account. It's Stock Pursuit, just like my YouTube handle. It's at stock_pursuit. And I mean, maybe you don't like Twitter or you don't have an account on Twitter, but there's a lot of good information out there. If you follow the markets, there's a lot of bad accounts, and you can't really get a lot from some, but some accounts are worth following. So hopefully you have an account and you can follow me, because I put a lot of stuff out there on Twitter. So check that out if you haven't already, and subscribe to me there, or follow me there, and subscribe to my YouTube channel here, and check out all my new posts. And I've been doing these pretty regularly. So, and the ReWalk was another one that I was looking at. This bull flag is starting to break out. So yeah, it looks pretty good. If it's green again tomorrow, if it's over like $1.03, that's a good one. That's still a good long. So luckily it hasn't run too much yet, so it's still a good area to get long here, and that's now the trend support right there. So it decided just to go a little early before the 85, which they do, and this thing's still uptrending too. So that's another good one. It's kind of like a different one. It's like a much smaller company. So Yeah, the IWM just tested a level and didn't like that level there. So we'll see what it does. That was a level back from August to 23. So I didn't really like that. So maybe we'll be in for some more sideways action, which is okay because that's kind of what you expect with IWM with the Russell 2000. So I was trying to think if there's anything else that I want to talk about because I've been covering a lot of stuff. And the Nifty 50, the India stock market, which is just the index of the Indian stock market, it's been losing momentum, and it lost momentum off that island top back there. It did an island top, and this ETF isn't actually tracking the index perfectly, but it was good enough for me to put puts on this one that has some puts. So I'm basically in a way short the India stock market, but synthetically like I'm just long puts. So that's another setup. Like I think there's gonna be some more downside like over the coming weeks and months, and it could still go sideways. Like it could find support here and go sideways, but I think it's more likely just to go down because it needs to go down because it's been up so much in the past few years. So, but this doesn't really track the actual index itself that well. But I did a whole video on that. So if you're interested in that, I did a video on the technical analysis of the Nifty 50, the Indian stock market, because one of those that it still had a lot of momentum going, and it's just it's more tradable than a lot of other international markets that I've seen. So that's about all I wanted to cover. Like I was thinking about the uranium trade and how what's fueling that, and I think it's just in the big picture the uranium, it's mined for energy, to create more energy. So there's definitely like a need for more energy sources in the world now, and I think the trend's been finding alternative sources of energy for a while, for years. It's like whether it's solar or electric cars, and it's just going to continue. So they're just trying to find more and more alternative sources. Like I've heard people talk about nuclear fusion and stuff. But and I follow a lot of the tech news, and they keep building these data centers for the big tech companies. They're building these huge, massive data centers, and those take a lot of energy. And like a lot of people want more nuclear power plants in the United States, so maybe that's why uranium price is up. But I haven't really looked at the long-term chart of uranium, but I imagine it's somewhat cyclical. But maybe we can see a little bit of what it does with the index ETF. Yeah, it's nothing crazy the last couple of years. But yeah, it looks like it's trending up a lot in the past few years. But that's something to watch too. If uranium continues to break out, that could be a pretty obvious, easy trade. So let's see what the Fannie Mae was up a little bit today. But yeah, that's about all I wanted to cover. And then the TLT is down. Almost forgot the TLT. So the treasury bonds long term have been down. The long term treasury bonds are down again, and this is following this downtrend level really well. This resistance level. So every time it pops up against that line, it just pops back down. So it's back down to threaten the lows again on this channel. So let's call that the channel. It's been a lot easier to see this channel on the resistance because it's been holding it, but that looks to be the downside support on this channel. So it just keeps downtrending. So I mean, TLT is a good trade with puts, or if you can if you can trade the futures or something, it's a good trade. But I kind of passed on it with I passed on the puts, but it's so consistent now. This downtrend's been holding, and it likes to trade in channels. So I wouldn't be surprised if this down channel goes all the way down to like the low 80s. So that's another thing I'm watching every day. And the rig, like the XLE and oil's been trying to catch support here, like these oil producers in the energy sector have been. It's retesting that level it broke down below there, and it may break through. We'll see. If it doesn't break through, that's a good setup short because it's going to fail, and that'll be a bear flag. But it's trying to get back up into above that level there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with the XLE. But I might do some more reg puts if it fails there at that level. So I've also been watching the cannabis sector. It's been really strong the past few months. Could be a consolidation here. Looks like there's a lot of sell volume on the ETF here, but I'm sure there's lots of names that are still doing well. I mean, there's lots of stocks in that sector, in the industry. So I've kind of been watching that too, and the MJ has been trading really well in the channel, and it's just continuing in the channel. So the technicals still look pretty good for the cannabis sector or the industry. So those look pretty good too. That's got an uptrend. So a lot of things are going up here, and it's pretty easy to pick spots and stuff to go long here. So yeah, that'll be the end there, and I'll catch you next time in the next video, and I'll put out any interesting charts that I find or stocks that I see in any scans if I do tonight, and I'll put that on my Twitter account. So until next time, I'll catch you next time.